Welcome everybody to Forza Horizon 5, and today we're taking a look at the 2020 MG number 20 MG6 XPower. So this is basically the racing version of the MG6 XPower that we looked in the previous video, and yeah, based on the same generation as well, the second generation. And yeah, the first generation was successfully raced by Jason Plato and Sam Tordoff in the 2013 and 2014 BTCC racing series, which is a British touring car championship. And yeah, in the first of those years, Jason Plato came third in terms of the drivers' championship. However, he came second in 2014, and the team themselves won the manufacturers' championship, ending Honda's 4-year run at the top. So yeah, the first generation racing car was really rather quite successful. Unfortunately, this version hasn't been quite as successful, which is a bit of a shame, because overall it is a really rather solid racing car. And yeah, but it's been stripped out of pretty much everything that the standard car had. So yeah, it's got none of the interior anymore, no back seats, none of that stuff. Yeah, and even though the boot still opens, obviously it's not carpeted or anything like that. So yeah, really rather stripped out, which is why it only weighs 2,910 pounds, which is 485 pounds less than the standard car. And as you'd expect, this has got more power, even though underneath the bonnet it is radically different to the standard car. So it now has a 2-litre turbocharged inline 4 engine. None of the hybrid motor technology on top of that though, but it still produces 340 horsepower and 302 pounds-feet of torque. Now that, granted, is 52 pounds-feet of torque less than the standard car, but it does have 40 horsepower more. So yeah, definitely a more powerful car from a slightly larger engine, as the standard car had 1.5-litre turbocharged inline 4. So 500 cc's extra to make up for the fact that it's not got the hybrid technology anymore, which obviously gives it 40 horsepower more. But yeah, the hybrid technology is one reason why the original car had so much torque in the first place. So yeah, but it's still front wheel drive, has a huge amount of downforce with that front splitter and that really rather large rear wing on the go there, and other aerodynamic aspects going on as well, with like sort of wheel arches. But yeah, overall, as a racing car, there's not a massive amount to talk about. So let's nonetheless get out onto the open road and see what this car can do. So yeah, having extra power, you will expect this to be quicker in terms of acceleration, and it certainly is over the standard car, although the top speed is slightly down due to the extra aerodynamics. But yeah, let's see what it can do on this drag strip before we hit the speed camera. And then, even though obviously we do it all the time, but naturally we're going to go to the racetrack. So let's see what it can do in a straight line. So yeah, obviously this isn't its strongest point, because obviously more when it comes to racing, it's more about keeping speed up and keeping momentum up going around corners. But still, it is hardly a slouch. And yeah, the standard car got up to 120, and this has gotten to 125. So not a massive extra amount there, but this does struggle a little bit more getting off the line, as it's, yeah, being a racing car, it's not meant to be, you know, easy to get off the line, as it is only going to be getting off the line every few races. It's not something it's constantly having to doing. And yeah, but in the same kind of way as the Lincoln Co, this likes to stick its rear tyre up when you're going around a corner. So as you can see, it's so stiff, the chassis and the suspension, that it's, yeah, lifting its rear wheel up, as you can see there. So yeah, that's a nice little quirk of this, which was the same with the Lincoln Co racing version of the 03 Plus. So yeah, it's nice to see that they're keeping that kind of physics-based handling in play. And like with the standard car, this is in A-class, although it's all the way at the top this time round. And yeah, as you can see, it's got pretty damn good stats. The speed is decent, the handling and the braking is excellent, as you'd expect from a car like this. Acceleration is slightly better than the standard car, but as you can see, the launch is pretty poor, because, like I said, the launch of a race isn't an important part of the race at all. As long as you get off the line, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how quickly you get off the line, because at the end of the day, that's, what, 0.5%, if that, of a race. So it's not a crucial aspect of a racing car to be able to get quickly off the line. So yeah, that's why it's as on the downside as that, 'cause it's just not prioritised. The car's more set up for mid-range speed, keeping the speed up around corners and the like. So yeah, nonetheless, let's see what this car sounds like, and then we'll talk about it some more. So yeah, sounds slightly similar to the standard car, although this does rev higher, and obviously without the hybrid technology or anything like that, it's a little bit rawer, because normally the electric power is stepping in to make up for any of the lagging turbo or changing gears or anything like that. So yeah, on the whole it does sound pretty good, and yeah, as far as mid-level racing cars go, this handles and brakes really rather nicely as well, especially for a car that is at the end of the day front-wheel drive. And yeah, 340 horsepower for a front-wheel drive car is asking quite a lot. 300 horsepower in the standard car is asking a lot, but yeah, this is obviously a little bit more. Although the reduction in torque is probably helping the handling a little bit, as that's not going to be tugging away at the front as much as it would do in the standard car. And yeah, acceleration is improved over the standard car. It can now do 0 to 60 in 4.434 seconds, 0 to 100 in 9.515 seconds, and going to a top speed of 151 miles an hour. Now the top speed is lower because of the extra downforce by 17 miles an hour, but yeah, that's nearly a second quicker to 60, and about 4 seconds quicker, no, sorry, about 2 and a bit seconds quicker than the standard car to 100. So yeah, better handling, better braking, better acceleration, all of which is pretty much to be expected from a racing car. But the big question is, does this have a place on this game? And I'm kind of in the middle on this kind of thing, because even though I do appreciate racing cars, and they do have a place on a racing game, no doubt about that, I just feel like this would be more at home on a Forza Motorsport game than a Forza Horizon game. So yeah, and if you gave me the option between choosing a racing car version of a vehicle that we already have, because obviously we do have the standard version of this, over say an MG or another car that we've never had in a Forza game before, I would go for the latter over the former. So yeah, I'm not down on this car completely, because it is a fun car to drive as far as racing cars go, even though I'm typically not a big fan of them. But at the end of the day, if I had a choice, like I said, I would go for a newer newer road car that we've not had on a Forza game before. So yeah, but at the end of the day, you've got to deal with what you're given, and what we've been given is a really rather solid racing car, just like the Lincoln Colt was, quite frankly. So yeah, but nonetheless, thanks for watching. You can get this in the Festival playlist for only 20 points. It is well worth getting in some regards, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.